Hi, welcome to another edition of 5 Minutes of Management. I'm Rick Bell alongside Frank Kallman. Frank, I heard it was a good Workforce Live this past week.
That's right. We were in New York City on April 8th. We had about a room full of 80 HR practitioners attend, and we had a great lineup of 8 speakers. It was overall a solid event, and we have our Atlanta Workforce Live event coming up on May 6th, as well as our digital edition of all 3 cities, D.C., Atlanta, and New York, coming June 2nd, so that'll be exciting.
Yeah, well, now I understand that today some big news broke in the learning and development world. We had LinkedIn buying lynda.com for $1.5 billion, I believe it is. The deal is supposed to close sometime in the next quarter. Frank, this is pretty big news in learning and development world.
Yeah, I want to say it's a lofty valuation for lynda.com. For those of you who aren't familiar, lynda.com is sort of like an online resource to take classes, sort of like a MOOC, but not really a MOOC. But these days valuations for tech companies are so high, Twitter being valued in some cases as high as $30 billion, that $1.5 billion doesn't seem like a ton of money in this case, but still significant, because with LinkedIn's heft and LinkedIn's reach to integrate courses that Lynda offers into its business networking and business environment, it could be kind of an interesting development for how job seekers treat these sorts of courses. One quote from the Wall Street Journal given by Ryan Rolansky, LinkedIn's head of global content products, sort of suggests that these lynda.com courses might be integrated into networking and job searching. So if you're looking for a job in, say, the Denver area, you might be prompted to take a course that fills in a skill gap that you might have based on a scan of your LinkedIn profile. So time will tell how this shakes out, but nonetheless, pretty big development for the L&D space.
Yeah, we've come a long way since the old job boards.
That's right, that's right. We've also got some other news, I understand. Walgreens, local Chicago drugstore chain that recently became a big part of a huge $16 billion merger with Alliance Boots. They announced they're closing, 200 stores, Rick?
200 stores they're closing. And in a sense, it's another sense of the closure of the old Walgreens model. That Walgreens was founded in 1901 on the south side of this city. And basically, they were a brick and mortar store. They were very conservative, very Midwest in their theories and philosophies on how to build the company, and became extremely successful by going into markets where nobody else was, and being able to overtake some of the smaller pharmacies just by their size. So this kind of riffs off what happened in December when Greg Wesson stepped down as their CEO. He saw the writing on the wall, and the European company Alliance Boots came in, and essentially that's now the name of the company, is Walgreens Alliance Boots. And so I think you're seeing this transformation before our very eyes. So yeah, so we're seeing this. So the closing of these stores is just one more reminder that Walgreens is not our parents' pharmacy.
No, and it's a huge cost-cutting measure. If I remember correctly, something in the neighborhood of like $150 billion.
Yeah.
Of cost-cutting. So huge step there. Culturally is going to have a lot of implications on how that company is managed internally day to day.
Yeah, and more of the European executives are coming over to Chicago because it is still headquartered here in Deerfield, Illinois. But that was one of the things too, is that they were talking about relocating to Europe so they could cut their taxes, which didn't happen, but that could be their very next move. You never know.
That's right.
So Frank, I understand that we are in our first tornado watch of the year.
That's right. According to news reports today in the Chicago area, we're expected some crazy storms tonight, which speaks to the sense of emergency preparedness that companies should have.
Exactly. Now, here in the city, we don't normally get the tornadoes, but in the suburbs, like where a number of our colleagues live, can get some pretty nasty storms. Communication is the number one key. And I think just so long as you have a good sense of communication and how to contact people, there's just that much more ability to be safe.
That's right. So be safe out there, and also catch next week's edition of 5 Minutes of Management For Rick Bell, I'm Frank Kallman. Join us next time.
Take care.